references to the holy names, which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sanga conference call today. Let's move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Pritidasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Daksas from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Haridas Thakur Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Rani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Shamagori Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shamagori Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from India. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dharma Pranam. This is Priyamvada Radha Priya Devi Dasi from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Radha Pyari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji.
Mataji, it was Priyamvada Radha from Canada.
Sorry, Mataji. Priyamvada Radha Mataji. Please forgive me.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for joining the call, Mataji. Mataji, should we start the recording, Mataji, or can we wait a little bit more?
We can start Mataji recording. That's okay.
Yeah, but
Because
I think Prabhuji has not joined yet. Can we see?
yeah, he's not yet joined. If you want to
Yeah, sure.
do the introduction and wait, that's also okay. Whatever Shamagori Mataji say. Shall I start the recording and let's read the introduction and wait, Mataji, or we want to wait?
Oh, please wait, Mataji.
Oh.
Anybody wants to
Introduction.
introduce, they can introduce Mataji.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Mataji, we will chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram
Rama, Rama,
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare,
Ram Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Hare, Ram
Rama
Hare Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Ram Hare
Ram, Ram,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare, Ram Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Chaitanya
Ram,
Prabhu
Ram,
Shri
Hare
Advaita
Krishna,
Gadadara
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram Ram
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
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 Hare
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 Hare,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram, Ram,
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare
Mataji, we
Ram,
can
Ram,
Can
start
we
Ram.
start the
recording
recording,
now.
Mataji, please?
Yes, yes. I will call Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Let's go to our next session, next top. Next part of our session is today we have Haridas Thakur Prabhuji for enlightening on the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 1, 33 verse. Before giving call to Prabhuji, I would like to give the call to Sureshasham Prabhuji for giving the brief introduction about Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhu, whenever you are ready, please take over the call, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Here is a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Haridas Thakur Prabhuji is an engineering graduate currently serving as Vice President at a Swedish multinational company with 28 years of experience. Prabhuji has been practicing Krishna consciousness for the past 22 years and is a disciple of His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj. Prabhuji regularly conducts Bhagavad Katha Saptas and serves as a Bhakti Shastri teacher. Hare Krishna Mataji, back to you Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I'm checking if Prabhuji has joined. Not yet.
Not yet, Mataji. Maybe he has some network problems and I've been calling him, but he's not picking up. So we can go ahead and read the verse.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay,
Sure.
Mataji, I will just check that.
Very small verse, right? Just ending of the chapter.
8th canto, chapter 1. What is the verse number again?
33,
Last-
33
last.
Mataji.
Last verse.
1.33.
Okay. Yeah, I'm projecting that Mataji. Sham Gauri Mataji will read. Go ahead, Shama Gauri Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyapsam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 1, Text 33. Shri Sutta Vacha Parikshitevam Satu Badarayani प्रायोपविष्टेन कथासु चोदितः उवाच विप्रा प्रतिनन्द्य पार्थिवं मुदा मुनीनां सदसि स्म श्वन्वताम् synonyms. Shri Sutta Vacha, Shri Sutta Goswami said, Parikshitaha, by Maharaj Parikshit, evam, thus, saha, he, too, 1 minute. Indeed, Badarayani, Sukadeva Goswami, Praya Upavistena, Parikshit Maharaj, who was waiting impending death. Kathasu, by the words, Choditaha, being encouraged. Vacha spoke. Vipraha, O Brahmanas, Pratinandyaha, after congratulating Parthivam Maharaj Parikshit, Muda with great pleasure, Munina, O great sages, Sadasi in the assembly, Sma indeed, Smarna we Vatam, who desire to hear. Translation. Shri Sutta Goswami said, O Brahmanas, when Parikshit Maharaj, who was awaiting impending death, thus requesting Sukadeva Goswami to speak, Sukadeva Goswami, encouraged by king's words, offered respect to the king and spoke with great pleasure in the assembly of sages who desired to hear him. purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 8th canto, first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled the Manu's Administrators of the Universe. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So this was the end of the chapter of Canto 8, Chapter 1. So we can summarize the chapter, what we learn in this chapter today. So Mataji, can you share the some verses from...
You want me to put the translations, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji, I will do that.
We can read the translation and have the discussion.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Give me a second. I'm just putting the translation. You want me to put only translations?
Yes, Mataji, only translations.
Yes, Mataji, only translations.
So devotees can go ahead and have discussion. By the time I will call Prabhuji.
Yeah. Padma Mataji, would you like to start reading the first translation?
King Parikshit said, text 1, translation. King Parikshit said, "O my lord, my spiritual master, now I have fully heard from your grace about the dynasty of Swayambhu Manu, but there are also other Manus, and I want to hear about their dynasties. Kindly describe them to us." Should I go ahead with text 2 also, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Text 2, translation. O learned Brahmana, Sukadeva Goswami, the great learned persons who are completely intelligent describe the activities and appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead during the various manvantras. We are very eager to hear about these narrations. Kindly describe them. Text 3.
Yeah. Kripamayi Mataji, please go ahead.
Mataji?
Third one, Mataji.
Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
O learned Brahmana, kindly describe to us whatever activities the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who created this cosmic manifestation, has performed in the past manvantras, is performing at present, and will perform in the future manvantras. Text 4 shall Mataji.
Yeah, your voice is breaking, Mataji, now.
Mataji,
your voice
now
is
it is
breaking.
Okay, Mataji. Text 4, and shall I read, Mataji, now?
Yeah, read.
Text 4. Sukadeva Goswami said, in the present Kalpa, there have already been 6 Manus. I have described to you Swayambhuva Manu and the appearance of many demigods. In this Kalpa of Brahma, Swayambhuva is the first Manu. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. I can go ahead and read, Mataji. If anybody wants to read, that's fine too.
Okay. Swayambhuva Manu had 2 daughters named Akuti and Devhuti. From their womb, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as 2 sons named Yagna Amruti and Kapila, respectively. These sons were entrusted with preaching about religion and knowledge. O best of Kurus, I have already described in the 3rd canto the activities of Kapila, the son of Devhuti. Now shall I describe the activities of Yagnapati, the son of Akuti. Yeah. Anybody want to read?
I can read.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Swayambhu Manu, the husband of Tatarupa, was by nature not at all attached to enjoyment of the senses. Thus he gave up his kingdom of sense enjoyment and entered the forest with his wife to participate austerities. Text 8. O son of Bharata, after Swayambhu Manu had thus entered the forest with his wife, he stood on one leg on the bank of the river Sunanda, and in this way, with only one leg touching the earth, he performed great austerities for 100 years. While performing these austerities, he spoke as follows.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody would like to do?
I saw
Hare
him.
Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji. Hemangi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Lord Manu said the Supreme Living Being has created this material world of animation. It is not that he was created by this material world. When everything is silent, the Supreme Being stays awake as a witness. The living entity does not know him, but he knows everything. Within this universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his super soul feature is present everywhere, wherever there are animate or inanimate beings. Therefore, one should accept only that which is allotted to him. One should not desire to infringe upon the properties of others. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can I read, Mataji?
Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly watches the activities of the world, no one sees him. However, one should not think that because no one sees him, he does not see, or for his power to see is never diminished. Therefore, everyone should worship the super soul who always stays with the individual soul as a friend. Text 12. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no beginning, no end, and no middle, nor does he belong to a particular person or nation. He has no inside or outside. The dualities found within this material world, such as beginning and end, mine and theirs, are all absent from the personality of the Supreme Lord. The universe which emanates from him is another feature of the Lord. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate truth, and he is complete in greatness. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
May I read, Mataji?
Go ahead, Mataji. Wait, I'll pull it up.
Okay. Text 14. Therefore, to enable people.
Mataji, I think this one we did not read. The entire cosmic manifestation.
Okay. The entire cosmic manifestation is the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, who has millions of names and unlimited potency. He is self-effulgent, unborn, and changeless. He is the beginning of everything, but he has no beginning. Because he has created this cosmic manifestation by his external energy, the universe appears to be created, maintained, and inherited by him. Nonetheless, he remains inactive in his spiritual energy and is untouched by the activity of the material energy. Text 14, therefore, to enable people to reach the stage of activity that are not tinged by fruitive result, great saints first engage people in fruitive activity. For unless one begins by performing activity as recommended in the Shastras, one cannot reach the stage of liberation or activities that produce no reaction.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can I go ahead? Text
Mataji,
15.
I will pull it up, Mataji.
I have the notes, Mataji.
Okay, go
Text
ahead.
15. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is full in opulence by his own gain, yet he acts as the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of this material world. In spite of acting in that way, he is never entangled. Hence, devotees who follow in his footsteps are also not entangled. Text 16. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, works just like an ordinary human being, yet he does not desire to enjoy the fruits of the work. He is full in knowledge, free from material desires and diversions, and completely independent. As the supreme teacher of human society, he teaches his own way of activities, and thus he inaugurates the real path of religion. I request everyone to follow him. Text 17, Sukadeva Goswami continued, Swayambhu Manu was thus in trance, chanting the mantras of Vedic instruction known as Upanishads. Upon seeing him, the Rakshasas and Asuras, being very hungry, wanted to devour him. Therefore, they ran after him with great speed. Text 18, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, who sits in everyone's heart, appearing as Yajnapati, observed that the Rakshasas and demons were going to devour Swayambhu Manu. Thus the Lord, accompanied by his sons, named the Yamas, and by all the other demigods, killed the demons and Rakshasas. He then took the post of Indra and began to rule the heavenly kingdom. Anyone else want to read?
Yes, Mataji, there is other raised hands.
Okay.
Jayanand
90.
Prabhu was reading. Jayanand Prabhu was raising his hand. Jayanand Gaura Hari Prabhu. Did you raise your hand, Prabhu? I saw him raising hand. Okay, anybody else wanted to read? Otherwise, Mataji will continue. Okay, Mataji, you can continue. I don't see anybody raising hand.
Text 19. The son of Agni, named Swarochisha, became the second Manu. His several sons were headed by Dumat, Susena, and Rochishmat. Text 20. During the reign of Swaroshita, the post of Indra was assumed by Roshana, the son of Yajna. Tushita and others became the principal demigods, and Urja, Stambha, and other became the 7 saints. All of them were faithful devotees of the Lord. Text 21.
Yeah,
Vedas.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Others raised hand, Mataji. Uma Mataji, please go ahead.
Okay, Mataji. Text 22. Vibhu
21, Mataji. Text 21.
Oh, text 21. Okay. Vedasira was a very celebrated rishi. From the womb of his wife, whose name was Tusishta, came the avatara named Vibhu. Text 22. Vibhu remained a brahmachari and never married throughout his life. From him, 88,000 other saintly persons took lessons on self-control, austerity, and similar behavior. Text 23. Mataji, can you scroll down a little bit? O king, the third Manu, Uttama, was the son of King Priyavrata. Among the sons of this Manu were Pavana, Srinjaya, and Yajnahotra. Text 24. During the reign of the third Manu, Pramada and other sons of Vasishta became the 7 sages. The Satyas, Vedasrutas, and the Badras became demigods, and Satyajit was selected to be Indra, the king of heaven. Text 25. In this Manvantara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared from the womb of Sunitra, who was the wife of Dharma, the demigod in charge of religion. The Lord was celebrated as Satyasena, and he appeared with other demigods known as the Satyavratas.
Thank you, Mataji. We have other raised hands. But Harita Mataji, please go ahead.
Text 26. Satyasena Satyasena, along with his friend Satyajit, who was the king of heaven, Indra, killed all the untruthful, impious, and misbehaved Yaksha, Rakshasas, and ghostly living entities who gave pains to other living beings. Text 27. The brother of the third Manu, Uttama, was celebrated by name Tamasa, and he became the fourth Manu. Tamasa had 10 sons headed by Prithu, Khyati, Nara, and Ketu. Text 28. During the reign of the Tamasa Manu, among the demigods were the Satyakas, Haris, and Viras. The heavenly king Indra was Trishikha. The sages in Saptarshi Dhama were headed by Jyotirdhama. Text 29. O king, in the Tamasa Manvantara, the sons of the Vidriti, who were known as the Vaiduris, also became demigods. Since in course of time the Vedic authority was lost, these demigods by their own powers protected the Vedic authority.
Thank you, Mataji. Sundarangi Mataji, you can finish it. I think 33, right? Only 3 verses are remaining.
Hare
Go ahead,
Krishna. Thank
Mataji.
you, Mataji. Also, in this Manvantara, the Supreme Lord Vishnu took birth from the womb of Harini, the wife of Harimedha, and he was known as Hari. Hari saved his devotee Gajendra, the king of the elephants, from the mouth of a crocodile. King Parikshit said, "My lord Badrayani, we wish to hear from you in detail how the king of the elephants, when attacked by a crocodile, was delivered by Hari." Any literature or narrations in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Uttama Sloka, is described and glorified is certainly great, pure, glorious, auspicious, and all good. Sri Sutta translation. Sri Sutta Goswami said, "O Brahmanas, when Parikshit Maharaj, who was awaiting impending death, thus requested Sukadeva Goswami to speak, Sukadeva Goswami, encouraged by the king's word, offered respect to the king and spoke with great pleasure in the assembly of sages who desired to hear him." Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Mataji, Prabhuji has already joined.
Oh, Prabhuji is there. Okay.
Yes,
I will hand
you
over
can
the
make
call.
him co-host.
Yes,
So he
Mataji.
can
I
share
made
what
him
he
co-host.
wants to share.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Please
Hare
accept,
Krishna.
please
Devotees,
accept
please
our humble
accept my
obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call and giving your valuable time and assistance, Prabhu. Please go ahead and take over the call whenever you're ready, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
kindly accept my humble obeisances. I'm sorry there was some misunderstanding about the timing. And
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, there was disappearing messages. So when I sent the message, it got disappeared. So that's why I couldn't find the timing. Because that's okay, Prabhuji.
till what time this class goes? Otherwise, Madhavi?
1 hour, Prabhuji. 1
hour. So does it mean that we can continue till 6 yeah, according to IST?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Thank you so much. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्दे अहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितान् हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च पासिन्धुभ्येव च तानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरं नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी Yeah. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Prabhu, it is visible, Prabhu.
Okay. So this verse is Sri Sutavacha Parikshitevam Satubhadarayani Prayopavishtena Katha Suchodata Uvacha Vipra Pratinandi Parthivam Muda Muninam Sadasya Isma Shromatam. The translation is Sri Suta Goswami said, O Brahmanas, when Parikshit Maharaj, who was awaiting impending death, thus requested Sukadeva Goswami to speak, Sukadeva Goswami, encouraged by the king's words, offered respect to the king, and he spoke with great pleasure in the assembly of sages who desired to hear him. So this is the last verse of this chapter, and the name of the chapter is the Manus, that is the administrators of the universe. This chapter describes about different Manus, and in this particular verse, in fact, before that, in 32nd, Parikshit Maharaj is actually putting up further questions before Sukadeva Goswami. And there is narration about here. King Parikshit said, My Lord Badarayani, we wish to hear from you in detail how the king of the elephants, when attacked by a crocodile, was delivered by Lord Hari. So Parikshit Maharaj gone to know in detail about Gajendra Moksha. That is the next chapter, in fact. And Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Tat kathasu mahat punyam धन्यम स्वस्तेनम शुभम यत्र यत्रोत्तम श्लोको भगवान गीयते हरि. Any literature or narration in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead Uttam Sloka is described and glorified is certainly great, pure, glorious, auspicious, and all good. So this kind of glorification of the literature also occurred in the beginning. We saw in the first chapter. न यत बचा चित्र पदम हरे रसो जगत पवित्रम प्रगणित करचित तत् बायसम तीर्थमो संति मानसा न यत्र हंसा निर्मंत सक्षया. There, Naradji is in fact glorifying the literature that glorifies the Lord. And there Naradji is saying that literature which does not describe the activities of the Lord. Nayat vachachitra padam hare raso. And that glory, those glories of the Lord which glorify the universe. Nayatra vachachitra padam hare raso jagat pavitram pragnita karachit. So such glorification of the Lord, if it is not in a literature, then such a literature is not liked by, saintly souls. They treat it as a pilgrimage of the, crows, pilgrim of the crows. On the other hand, he says, नयत्वचा चित्र पदम हरेशो जगत पवित्रम प्रगणित करचित तत्बायसम तीर्थमुसंति उशिक्षया नयत्र हंसा निर्मंतु शिक्षया तत्वाग विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकम अवदवदपि नामानि अनन्तस्य यशो अंकितानि श्रवन्ति गायन्ति गणन्ति विशेषा. On the other hand, that literature which is full of names and pastimes of the Lord, even if is composed and is not correct in grammatically or otherwise, and even if it is not composed perfectly, such a literature is likened by those who are saintly people. So such is the glorification, in fact, of the Bhagavatam, and Narad ji is inspiring Vyasadev ji to compile Srimad Bhagavatam, because Narad ji was not happy after having compiled 17 Puranas, and after having divided one Veda into 4 Vedas, and after even compiling Mahabharata, he was not satisfied. He was unhappy. He did not have the satisfaction of the, job satisfaction, let's say. We can say he did not have the job satisfaction. So his spiritual master, Narad Muni, came there and he inspired him to write Srimad Bhagavatam. Such is also, some description in the 32nd verse. Now, here, when there are further inquiries by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami, Sukadeva Goswami is very much pleased. So to speak, Sukadeva Goswami, increased by the king's words, offered respect to the king and spoke with great pleasure in the assembly of sages who desired to hear him. What happens, in fact, Prabhupada many times mentioned this thing, that one should not accept a spiritual master just for the sake of fashion. Because, as the time is changing, people are adopting new lifestyles. And at some point of time, it also became a fashion to accept spiritual masters. It became a kind of, social status. And it became a fashion. So Prabhupada was deploring such kind of thinking and was saying that, one should not accept a spiritual master just for the sake of accepting a spiritual master. There must be a proper relationship. And every relationship has a way of functioning. When there is a relationship, there is a way of functioning of the relationship. There is sambandh, then there is abhidheya, then there is prayojan. There is a function of a relationship and there is a purpose of a relationship. So similarly, when there is a relationship of a spiritual master and disciple, then there is a way of functioning of the relationship, what is called avidheya. And there is purpose of this relationship also. The purpose is that to get enlightened in spiritual science. So Prabhupada said one should accept a spiritual master for the sake of making spiritual inquiries in order to get enlightened by the spiritual master. And there must be a inquisitiveness, curiosity in the disciple. Disciple means one who wants to become disciplined. One approaches a spiritual master for the purpose of becoming disciplined. तस्मात् गुरुम प्रपद्येत जिज्ञासु स्वे उत्तमम शाब्दे परे निष्णात ब्राह्मणी उपसमम आश्रमम. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna is telling Uddhav that a person should approach a spiritual master who has inquisitiveness in his heart, who want to know the supreme truth, absolute truth. Such a person should approach a spiritual master. Tasmat gurum prapadyeta jigyasu sre uttamam. One who is inquisitive and one who wants, his eternal welfare. Sre uttamam. Such a person should approach a spiritual master. And the qualification of the spiritual master is Sabde Pare Nishnat Brahmani. The spiritual master should be, Sabde Pare Nishnat Brahmani. He should be absorbed completely in the absolute truth, and he should have realized the conclusion of the Vedic scriptures. When it comes to Sukadeva Goswami, as we know, he is son of Vyasadev, and he remained in the womb of the mother, it is said that for 13 years. Because fearing Maya, he did not come out of the womb of his mother. Vyasadev requested Dwarkadhish, Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna, when he assured Sukadeva Goswami that you do not need to fear, Maya, you can come out. And then he came out. So Sukadeva Goswami is such a personality. What happened, in fact, one time Lord Shiva was, discussing about the pastimes of the Lord to Parvati in a secluded place. Parvati was sitting just nearby, and Lord Shiva was describing the pastimes of Lord Narayan, and Parvati was hearing the pastimes. So after some time, Parvati, she fell asleep, and Lord Shiva went on describing the pastimes of the Lord. So for some time, Parvati was, uh, just hearing patiently and saying, hmm, hmm, hmm. But after some time, she fell asleep. So then, but this sound, kept on coming. So then Lord Shiva asked Parvati, were you hearing attentively what I was saying, about the pastime of the Lord? Parvati said, oh no, I fell asleep. I do not know what were you saying, what were you describing. So then Lord Shiva said, who was this, who was hearing this and saying, hmm, hmm, hmm. Parvati said, I don't know, I fell asleep. So then Lord Shiva, looked around on the tree and he saw there was a parrot sitting there. So out of, anger, Lord Shiva threw his trident on him, and this parrot was, running, and this trident of Lord Shiva was following him. So this parrot entered into the mouth of the wife of Vyasadev. And this parrot was actually Sukadeva Goswami. Suka means a parrot. And name of Radha Rani is, Sukesta. Sukesta. Because Radha Rani is actually the, Ishta or worshipful deity of Sukadeva Goswami. So name of Radha Rani is Sukesta. So actually, Sukadeva Goswami is actually Radha Rani's, messenger. He is Suka. So he is so absorbed in thinking about Radha Rani that in complete of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no word like Radha. Only one time the word Aradhana happens. In the Ras dance, when these gopis, went on searching for Lord Krishna, then when they were searching for Lord Krishna, when he disappeared from the Ras dance, then they found some footsteps of, of a gopi in parallel to Krishna's footsteps, and there after seeing these footprints, they said, Anya Radhita Nunam Bhagwan Hari Rishara. Yatna Vihaya Govind Prityam Manitarah. This gopi would have served Krishna to his satisfaction. That is why he has disappeared from amongst us, and he has surely gone with her in seclusion. So there is the indication of Radha Rani. Otherwise, there is no word of Radha Rani in Srimad Bhagavatam. The reason is because she is Sukesta. She is so dear to Sukadeva Goswami that even if one Sukadeva Goswami says Radha, he can go into meditation, complete absorption, complete samadhi. So therefore, he was fearful. So this is introduction of Sukadeva Goswami. And as soon as Sukadeva Goswami reached where Parikshit Maharaj was fasting unto death, there were assembly of sages like, Vasishtha, Vishwamitra, Atri, Gautam, Deval, Ashit, and Bharadwaj, Narad, Vyasadev, and Sukadeva Goswami was the youngest of all. When he reached that assembly, everybody stood up. Everybody stood up and they, welcomed him, and they paid him his obeisances, their obeisances. So Sukadeva Goswami, though he was the youngest among them, but by his knowledge and by his appearance, he was topmost in the spiritual knowledge. Actually, there was no signs of Varnashram on his face. While looking at Sukadeva Goswami, he was not looking like, as if he's a Brahmin, or he's a Kshatriya, or he's a Vaisya, or he's a Sudra. He was not looking like a brahmachari or not even like a grasta or a banprastha or sannyas. There were no signs of varna and ashram munis. He was completely a avadhuta. Avadhuta means a person who has ignored himself on the bodily platform. He had no signs. Anybody could understand that he is a person who has no direction to walk. See, any person who is in varna and ashram, he has some direction. If he has some purpose of going in any direction, but Sukadeva Goswami has no direction, meaning by he was avadhuta, one who has ignored himself completely in the platform. And when we reached in that assembly of the sages, first of Parikshit Maharaj welcomed him and said that by becoming our guest you have accepted our services, otherwise we kings are thought to be just garbage to be thrown on the streets. We are not thought useful of rendering our service unto you, but simply by becoming our guest, you have accepted our honor. Sanidhyatte mahayogin, patkani mahantya, saddo nasyanti vaipusa, Vishnu suretara. There Parikshit Maharaj is glorifying Sukadeva Goswami. Sanidhyatte mahayogin, patkani mahantya. By associating with you, sinful reactions, even bigger sinful reactions, Saddo Nishyanti Vai Punsa, Vishnu Rev Suretara. The way in the presence of Vishnu, the asuras cannot stand before him. Similarly, in your presence and in your association, big sinful activities cannot, stand before you. Yesam Sansmanat Vai Punsa, Sadhi Suddhanti Vai Gunha, Vai Graha, Kim Pune Darsan Sparsh Pad Soch Asan Adavi. Simply by remembering personalities like you, simply by remembering, our homes become pure. Then what can be said of, welcoming you, giving you, a glass of water, touching your feet, washing your feet, and hearing from you? This way, when Sukadeva Goswami was glorified by his Parikshit Maharaj in the first assembly, Sukadeva Goswami was very much pleased. And Parikshit Maharaj then, started making inquiries there. Sukadeva Goswami, by his own presence, was looking as if a moon is sitting among the stars. And these stars were, rishis like Narad, Vyasadev, Bharadwaj, Asit, Deval, like this. And he was sitting with full confidence and ready to any answer. Those rishis who were Raja rishis, Deva rishis, Brahma rishis, they were not able to decide what to prescribe for Parikshit Maharaj, who was fasting unto death. They could not decide. They could not think what to prescribe for such a person. Somebody was advising something. Somebody was advising something. They were just talking only. And then Sukadeva Goswami simply sat down there, and there Parikshit Maharaj started asking. The first query that Parikshit Maharaj made was this: Ate prachami sansiddhi yoginam paramam gurum purusasyatkaram muramanasya sarvatha. Therefore, O spiritual master, yoginam paramam guru, O spiritual master of the yogis, I want to ask you one thing. What is, purusasyatkaryam muramanasya sarvada? What is the duty of a person who is about to die? Purusasyat karyam miramanasya sarvada. A person who is about to die anyhow, anyway, what is duty of that person? Yet srotavyam, athojapyam, yet kartavyam niribhavo, yet smartavyam bhajaniyama, bru yet vaviparyam. Yet srotavyam, what a person who is about to die should hear. Yet srotavyam, at kartavyam, and what he should do. Athojapyam, what he should chant, what he should remember. A person who is about to die. Yet srotavyam athojapyam yet kartavyam nirbhi prabhu. Yet smartyam bhajaniyam bhrutiva viparyam. And what he should not do. What he should do, what he should not do. A person who is about to die. In fact, the question of Parikshit Maharaj, though it seemed a personal question, but actually it was a general question. Why general question? Because Parikshit Maharaj was, he was cursed. He was cursed that he will die within 7 days by a snake bite. And each of us, is destined to die within 7 days only, from Monday to Sunday. Someday we have to leave this body. So this was a general question. General question means it was holding good for every living being, for every living individual. And therefore, Sukadeva Goswami became very pleased there. Very pleased, and he said, Variyan este prasna कृतो लोक हितम नृप आत्मविद समतम पुंसाम श्रुतव्यादिषु या पर. O king, your question is very, worth of glorification. Why? Because the answer of this question is actually meant for those who are Atmavit, Samitam, Punsam. Atma means who are looking for self-realization. Your question is so good that answer of this question is actually meant for those who are looking for self-realization. Otherwise, in the world, people have so many topics to discuss. So talk. Srutavyadini, Rajendra. Niram Shanti Sahasra. Hmm? In the material world, people have so many topics to hear about or to talk about. Apashyatam Atma Tattvam, Graha Sume Medina, those people who are devoid of any, spiritual knowledge. Apashyatam Atma Tattvam, Graha Sugre Medina, those who are just, attached to the family life. Such people have so many topics to hear in the material world other than, about spiritual topics. Nindra, Hirte Nattam, Vivayancha Baba, Divachar The Rajan, Kutumba Bharnenava, such people who are attached to the family and who are devoid of any spiritual knowledge or spiritual query, those people are simply, wasting their night in sleeping and day only in the, maintaining their families. Diva, you know, uh, Nindya Hirti Nattam, Vivayancha Baba, Divacharti Rajan Kutumba Bharnenava, they are spending or wasting the day simply, earning money and, maintaining their family. And they think this body and the relatives who are, related to the body, they are the soldiers who can save him. Those people think like this. And therefore, Sukadeva Goswami continues there. And he says, Dehapatti Kalatradesu, Atmasainesu Asatyats, Tesam Pramatto Nidhanam, Pasyanapana Pashyati. They are apatti kalatadrishu. Body, apat means, byproducts of the body. That's, sons and daughters. And kalatra means wives. A person thinks my body and my expansion of the body, my supports of the body, like the extended relationships, sons, daughters, wives, and my bank balance, my my friends, they are the ones who can save me. They think that they are the soldiers who can save me from the imminent death, but actually he does not know by the effect of time, all of them are going into the mouth of the death. Actually, we not realize this thing. In the 12th canto of Bhagavatam, there is description of 4 kind of annihilations, where the effect of time is occurring on everything in the material world. Even when in this span of time, of around half an hour when we have talked about Bhagavatam, there has been effect of time. You people are sitting in US, I am sitting in India. And here and there, in this period of, 30 minutes, there has been effect of time on everything. Our bodies, in your bodies, and on every, inert object. There has been effect of time. The time is killing everything. Ayurhrati vai punsam udyan asnan chayanasau tasiritu chulonit uttam slok vartya. The rising sun and the setting sun, it reduces the lifespan of everyone by a day. Ayurhrati vai punsam udyan asnan chayanasau tasiritu chulonit uttam slok vartya. But that time which we actually engage in hearing about the pastimes of the Lord, that is not wasted. There is a question in Srimad Bhagavatam, why sun reduces everybody's life? The reason or the answer is that because when sun actually reduces everybody's life gradually, a person gets detached from the material world. If a person was not feeling the problem of, old age, death and disease, a person will remain attached to the material world just like animal. Animals do not feel this thing. They do not know that there is something like worth. They do not know what there is something like death, but they have fear of death. And animals do not know there is something like disease. Animals do not know that they are aging. They feel the problems out of disease and or out of the aging, and they meet death also, but they do not know there are some problems like this. So the effect of time even happening upon them. Similarly, a person who is too attached with the material world, he does not feel like there is effect of time on them. While time, which is the representative of the Lord, it is, reducing everybody's lifespan. And the reason the time reduces everybody's lifespan is this, that then a person gets detached from the material world. This material world has been so created that the living beings who have some desires to enjoy away from Krishna, they are given some facilities to enjoy here also, and in the due course they are made to get frustrated also. The material nature, what it does, ultimately it gives facilities for them to enjoy, but at the end, the material nature wants all these people, all these living beings to realize, and to realize that there is no enjoyment away from Krishna. There's no enjoyment away from Krishna. And therefore, the material nature has been so designed, it has been so made that it gives a person a full hope that, oh, I can do so much, I can control so much, I can live here for so much of time, I can enjoy so much. But ultimately it frustrates everybody. It has been so made. So what happens? Deha apattikalatradesu atmasenesu asatva. Tesam pramattu nidhanam pasyanapana pasyati. A person who's attached to family life, though his soldiers, so-called soldiers, like his sons, daughters, wife, and his relatives, and he himself, they are going in the mouth of the death, but he does not realize this thing. Sukadeva Goswami is saying this thing. And therefore he says, Tasmat Bharat Sarvatmana, Bhagwan Isaro Hari, Srotabbe, Kirtabisha, Ismatabh Ichatam Abhyam. Therefore, a person who is willing to, get to the state of fearlessness.
Hare Krishna,
Such a,
Prabhuji.
yes, ma'am.
If you are not sharing anything, can we stop this? Because it's we can see your desktop screen on.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay, Prabhuji. Just wanted.
Oh, so what happens, therefore, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Isharo Hari, Srotabhya Kirtivesa Ismartabhya Shatam Heva. Therefore, O descendant of Bharat, a person who wants to be delivered from the fear of death, such a person should, hear about, and such a person glorify the Lord, such a person should hear about the Lord, and such a person should remember the Lord. This is the answer of Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj for the first question that Parikshit Maharaj gave. What was that? That was Yat Srotabhyam Atho Japyam Yat Kartabyam Nirabhi Prabho. Whatever is worth listening or hearing for a person who is about to die, whatever is the duty for a person who's about to die, and whatever is not doable for a person who's about to die, whatever a person who is about to die should remember, yat smartabhyam, yat vajniyam, whatever he should worship. Tell me this thing. The answer in some summary, Sukadeva Goswami has given this. Tasmat Bharat Sarvatmana Bhagavan Ishro Hari. The Lord who is the soul of all the souls, he should be worshipped. People should hear about him. People should, talk about him, narrate about his pastimes. Srotabhya, Kirtabhya, Ismat, Ichhatamyam. Those people who want to be delivered from the fear of death. And their Lord continues to tell, Itavan Sankhya Yoga Bham, So Dharma Parinistaya, Janvala Pare Punsam, Ante Narayan Smriti. Sukadeva Goswami says, for all the people who want to understand the material world, through the analytical study of the matter and the soul or spirit, for them, Itavan Sankhyogavyam, Sudharm Parnishta, or even for those who want to attain perfection in their life by, you know, by just performing their own duties, be they Brahmin, be they Kshatriya, be they Vaisya, be they Sudra. Sudharam Panishta, Janvala Pare Punsam Ante Narayan Smriti. The biggest benefit that a person can attain in human form of life is simply that he attains to the state of remembering Krishna at the last breath. Janmala pare punsam ante narayan smriti. Etat nirvidyamananam ichhatam agto bhayam yoginam nipninitam harinam vinkrinitam. Sukadeva Goswami says, Etat nirvidyamananam ichhatam agto bhayam. Any person who has any desire or a person who does not have any desire. Etati nirmidyamananam. Any person who is attached to the material world or who is completely detached from the material world. Such a person, for such a person, what is prescription? Yoginam nibnaditam. Harinam kirtanam. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the fearless, process. The fearless process. Or in other words, chanting of the holy name is the process which can deliver one from the state of fearfulness to the fearlessness state. Hmm? There, Parikshit Maharaj is being told by Sukadeva Goswami that you have 7 days. And he is consoling him. You have enough time, don't worry. Khadwang Maharaj, who was a king in the Ichwaku dynasty, he was told that he has only time of one muhurta. One muhurta is of 48 minutes. He was told that you have 1 or 2 muhurta only by the demigods. And there, Khadwang Maharaj attained perfection just, by getting a job in the Lord just in 2 muhurta. That is in 96 minutes. He attained perfection just in such a, such a small time. So there Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, you have 7 days. So he's consoling him, making him patient, that don't worry, you have enough time. You have enough time. Just get absorbed in hearing about the pastimes of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami made Parikshit Maharaj fearless in one go. See what happens when we go to a doctor. When a patient goes to a doctor, the doctor first thing he does is that he gives a patient hearing to the patient. And when they are, patient hearing, the patient becomes actually, patient. Otherwise, he's impatient because he thinks, oh, no, I don't know, I don't know. So similarly, Sukadeva Goswami made Parikshit Maharaj patient by giving him proper hearing. And there Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami is telling him, you have 7 days. Khadwang Maharaj attained perfection just in 2 murta, in 96 minutes only. So you do not worry. When the death come, then what should be our state of mind? There Sukadeva Goswami is telling, Antakale Chapurusa, Agate Gat Sadhusa, Chindat Asanga Sasyana, Ispraham Dena Chitam. At the last moment when one is approaching death, one should detach himself completely from the material world and the desires, and one should not think anything. Antakale Chapurusa, Agate Gat Sadhusa, Chindat Asanga Sasyana. By the weapon of detachment, one should, one should cut all the relationship with the body and the relations of the body. Chindat asanga sustain ispraham de anuchitam. And he should not desire anything. And this way one should think about Lord only at the last moment. So, Parikshit Maharaj, in fact, the first few queries of Parikshit Maharaj was answered just in few verses only by Sukadeva Goswami. But then there were subsequent questions and answers, question and answers. Primarily, there are 3 dialogues in Srimad Bhagavatam. The one between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. And then there is one between, Sut Goswami and Sonak Rishi, 88,000 rishis, of which Sonak Rishi is the chief. And another dialogue is happening between, Vidur and Maitre. These are the prime dialogues. Those are happening. Those we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Though there are other dialogues also, like there is some, there are dialogues between Naradji and Vyasadev. Then there are some dialogues between, Nimi Maharaj and Navayogendras. There is dialogue between Uddhav and Krishna. There are so many other dialogues also, but the prime dialogues are these 3. And we are hearing, though it happened with some primary questions, but there were so many subsequent questions. A speaker becomes very encouraged when he is made some relevant queries. Let's understand this thing. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam, it's actually a reflection from the audience. When a speaker sees that there is a curiosity in the audience, and when a speaker sees that audience actually want to hear, then automatically, the Srimad Bhagavatam or narrations about the Lord, they automatically manifest to the speaker. Lord Chaitanya, see, he was making some queries with Ramanand Rai on the visit of South India. And he was making some queries, and those queries Ramananda Rai was saying that actually I do not have answer of these queries, but Lord Chaitanya was actually making Ramananda Rai answer those queries. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya was making some queries to Haridas Thakur, Namacharya Haridas Thakur, about the glories of the holy name. And there, again, Lord Haridas Thakur was saying that I do not have answer, though you know everything, my Lord. But Lord Chaitanya was making Haridas Thakur speak about glories of the Lord. Similarly, actually, it is the audience which makes the manifestation of the, Lord's pastimes and spiritual discussions. Because when there is curiosity, then the speaker automatically gets encouragement. When he is encouraged from within, the super soul, inspires him, gives him directions to speak what is relevant. So, curiosity is something that can kill the ignorance, let me tell you. In Srimad Bhagavatam, again, when we go in the 12th chapter, there, when there is the description of the annihilation, there are two verses which say, Ghano yatha ark prabhavo darshito. हे अर्क अंश भूत से चक्षुषात्म एवं तो अहम ब्रह्म गुण तत्तीक्षिता ब्रह्म अंश कस्य आत्मना आत्मबंधना. The way घनो यथा अर्क प्रभवो दर्शितो. Cloud is actually produced by the sun, as we know. Cloud is product of sun. He ark अंश भूत से चक्षुषात्मा. And the human eye is also, in a way, byproduct of sun only. Actually, in eye, hardware is this our external eye, what the internal software or the demigod that controls our eye. There are demigod who controls, each of our senses. So the demigod that controls our eyes, he has connection with sun. Therefore, our eye is said to be product of sun. So please try to understand this. Cloud is produced by sun. Eye, which sees the sun, is also produced by sun. But the same sun becomes, obstructed by the cloud from the eye of the seer. Similarly, the false ego, it is the, creation of the supreme absolute truth. Just like a cloud obstructs the sun from the seer's eye, similarly, the false ego obstructs the living entity, from seeing the absolute truth. Though false ego is the creation of the absolute truth. And next verse tells, Gano yada arka prabhu vidhirate chakshu sarupam ravi ikshate tada yadai ahankar upade vartmanu jigyasya nasati tarhi anvasarit. In that verse it says, when the same sun, it dispels the clouds. Gano ithat prabhu vidhirate. And then the eye can see the sun. Similarly, when the ignorance is, dispelled by curiosity. Similarly, when the ignorance is, killed by, spiritual knowledge, which is attained by curiosity. So these two verses, what we understand is this: false ego is the biggest problem and the obstruction for us to see the Lord, and false ego is the manifestation of ignorance, and this ignorance can be killed by transcendental knowledge, and transcendental knowledge can be attained by one who is inquisitive. Because without being curious or without having curiosity or inquisitiveness to know about the Lord, there is no question, of attaining the knowledge. Siddhavan lavate jnanam yatendriya tatpara. In Bhagavad Gita, Siddhavan lavate, a person who has faith, he attains, transcendental knowledge. Siddhavan lavate jnanam yatendriya, one who is trying to control his senses. Tatpara, and who tatpara means who is sincere. A sincere person and who is trying to control his senses, such a person is qualified, to attain the transcendental knowledge when he has faith and curiosity. So, by seeing the curiosity or inquisitiveness, Sukadeva Goswami is again getting so much of, inspiration. He's getting inspired from within, encouraged from within to speak more and more. And this is 8th canto. Srimad Bhagavatam ultimately goes to 12th canto. By the end of 9th canto, Sukadeva Goswami will bind up, the narrations of the Lord. And there he will also have described the birth of Lord Krishna and Lord Baladev. And he will describe summarily that they arrange a very big war between, religious and irreligious kings. And thus he destroyed all those irreligious kings. And thus Lord Krishna and Balaram, they did such, amazing task, which are bewildering for the Brahma and Shiva also. And there he concludes the narrations to Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami. He says, so now you would have tired also. You can take some water also, because since last 7 days you have not taken any water. So here we can conclude. This is what Sukadeva Goswami said. But there Parikshit Maharaj is showing more end of curiosity. There he says, there he says, you described, dynasty of sun, dynasty of moon in detail, and I am seeing that the, character of kings of in both the lines, it's, very glorious, very glorious. And I want to hear more about Krishna, who saved my, my great grandfather and grandfathers, who served my relatives so nicely. I want to hear more. And whatever I am asking about the Lord and whatever I'm not asking about the Lord, please describe. There, Sukadeva Goswami goes ahead to describe how Krishna took birth and how he was taken, from Mathura to Gokul by Vasudev, and then his, childhood pastimes, then it coming back to Mathura and killing Kansa, then, fighting Jarasandh and Kalevan, and then finally, uh, um, taking the Mathuravasis to Dwarka, and there from, about Rukmini Haran, and then his, 16,108 marriages, then, uh, Pandav Rajsu Yagya and killing of Jarasandha. So many pastimes then happen, subsequently. So it is because of curiosity that was exhibited by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami, that Srimad Bhagavatam, which in fact otherwise was finished in first 4 verses only by Sukadeva Goswami, it, got extended to 12th canto. So the sum and summary is that when there is a curiosity in the disciple, the spiritual master feels very pleased and he wants to, enlighten the disciple from within. This is what is required out of a relationship of, spiritual master and the disciple. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. Any other thing you want to comment upon or narrate upon, you can please. If there are any questions on the current discussion, you may kindly ask. Anybody has any comment, you may kindly comment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much
Hare Krishna.
for the wonderful class and very nice, summarization of the whole chapter. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful.
I'm
And
sorry, I was caught unaware by you. In fact, I was thinking the class is from 5:50 p.m. from an IST time. And I was, in fact, I didn't think that the class is from 4:50 p.m. I
yeah,
was just unaware. I'm sorry. Next time I will be on time.
for the first time, na Prabhuji, that's why it happened. Otherwise, now you will remember. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. All glories to Him.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the beautiful class. Dear devotees, anybody having any questions, realizations, please go ahead. Time. Prabhuji, I think nobody has any questions. I would like to thank you once again for the beautiful class, Prabhuji. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. There is one realizations in the chat box, Prabhuji. I would like to read that for you. It's written by our one of the senior devotee who joins this call, Lalita Mataji and Dinabandhu Prabhu. Dear Haridas Thakur Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for the transcendental nectar flowing from you. We are so uplifted and thankful for your wonderful association. Yours, grateful servants, Lalita Mataji and Dinabandhu Prabhu. Thank you so much, Lalita Mataji and Dinabandhu Prabhu, for your everyday association, and thank you for sharing your realization. We are very grateful to you, Mataji and Prabhuji. Yeah. We would like to offer our obeisances to Prabhuji and all the assembled devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu
कृपा सिंधु प्रियवश पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
की
नमः
जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय His
जय
हरिदास ठाकुर प्रभुजी की जय
जय शंकर प्रभु जी
जय
कोटि कोटि दंडवत
जय
प्रणाम।
Radhe
Thank you,
Radhe.
राधे
Prabhuji. Thank
राधे
you so
Krishna.
much.
गा-
Hare Krishna.
गाओ नहीं क्या